This is breaking like right now, huh?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Howard Rubin, an ex-New York financier with ties to Soros, was arrested for sex trafficking women to a sex dungeon penthouse, according to the feds. So I think people need to understand.
Can we look at the who arrested him? Is this fed or state?
It's got to be fed, right?
Well, there are state statutes too. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Federal.
Federal prosecutors.
Yeah. So
I'm like, bro, you think state in New York are going to arrest this guy?
this
Right.
They did it for Trump.
Who was it?
Yeah,
Did it
but
for Trump.
again,
if the case is big enough, they're going to do it.
No. George
this guy?
Soros-tied guy is not getting arrested in New York.
Who was he?
Let me see here.
He was a New York financier.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
So
once had
Brooklyn
ties to
US
George
Attorney.
Soros.
Okay. Eastern District of New York. Okay. Brooklyn, that's where they run out of. Okay. Who ran the case? FBI or agent?
One of his bedrooms was soundproofed and painted red and had a device that was used to shock or electrocute women.
I want to know
What
I want to know what. Can we pull up the indictment?
It's just
I don't know how to find that. I mean, do you want to find it?
Yeah, I'll go. I'll look on Pacer.
so.
I'll get it.
Yeah.
I
So here's my point. The arrests are going to come from the bottom up. I'm pretty sure the Trump admin said this. They're building cases against lower level people so they can knock out key infrastructure among the deep state and then go for the higher
Okay,
profile
I got it.
targets.
Type in his name and then type in DOJ. There's a press release.
And then we also have Alex Jones, which says that they have actually
Okay, we got
indictments
it.
going on
Okay,
right now.
yep.
There's like
FBI,
5 different that we're going to see arrests in 5
FBI
days.
and IRS. Scroll all the way to the bottom. Indictments down there. This is FBI and IRS.
This right here.
Yep, that's it. Okay, let's see here. All right, Eastern District, bam, Brooklyn.
Howard Rubin, known as Howie, is a retired New York-based financier from at least 2009 to 2019. He recruited dozens of women to engage in commercial sex acts with them involving bondage, discipline, dominant submission, and sadomasochism. He engaged
Scroll
in...
to the top real quick so we see the charges. Okay, 18 USC. Okay,
Oh, all these.
yeah.
Do you know what that means?
Yeah, Title 18 is criminal, and then the 982, I got to look those up with all the subsections. 1591, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that's sex trafficking.
That's what. Yeah, that's the headline one.
Title 20. Oh, they hit him with drugs too.
Oh, and Jennifer Powers.
Yeah, 21 USC 853. That's a drug charge. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, so let me scroll down and like it'll break all that down, right?
Yeah. Well, that's why I hate indictments, because indictments don't go into detail like the same level as a criminal complaint does. But they're going to talk about some of the stuff here.
Wow, this is wild.
Yeah.
They had the women sign NDAs.
I mean, look,
It's
this
like,
is.
do not reveal the crime being committed. I'll sue you.
Well, a lot of times that stuff happens because of the age of the victims often.
But what I'm saying is it is incredibly silly to be committing a serious felony federal crime and then ask them to sign an NDA that they won't reveal the crime being committed. Like,
And a lot of people probably
promise
aren't
you won't go to the cops.
And
Sign
a lot of the
this.
women probably aren't educated enough to know. They probably think they signed some type of NDA that's ironclad, and if they speak out or say anything, that they're going to get cooked.
Real quick for me, Tim.
Which one? The first paragraph on the first page?
Yeah, one. Yeah, I'm going to try to. Okay, sex trafficking. Arrested. Okay, bam. Okay, defendants. Okay, so from at least 2011.
Discipline. During such encounters, Rubin engaged in conduct beyond the scope of the women's consent. So he they're arguing this dude tricked women into coming in, and then
Yeah. So.
did horrible
this
things
is
to
very
him.
similar to Diddy.
Well, he said
Recruiting,
commercials.
yeah.
He said that says commercial sex acts. That means he was hiring prostitutes, right?
And then
yeah,
doing things to them that they did
Yeah.
not want to have happen.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
like a
it's
horror
literally-
movie.
This literally is like almost identical to the Diddy case,
Wow.
because that's what they got Diddy for. Because it's going to sound funny, because I actually watched a few days of the trial. Really, what they're banging, he's getting in trouble for is flying in these male prostitutes to have sex with Cassie. That's what jammed them up, because they affected interstate commerce because they were traveling interstate to engage in a sex act and they were getting paid.
They write that
So this looks very similar to the Diddy case here.
Howard would injure them. At times, assuaged women, for example, telling them to ice their injuries and apply bruise cream.
Really, yeah.
On various occasions, victims notified Rubin and Powers that Rubin had caused lasting pain and physical injuries, including, for example, a woman's breast implant had flipped upside down and required surgery to fix.
Dear Lord.
Beat the S out of him. That's how.
Jeez.
These people are so sick, man.
So we were talking yesterday, and we had Joseph Moulton on, and he said he doesn't think Trump is going to actually go after Soros and do this. He's like, oh, we've seen too much. And I'm like, Trump is doing it. I mean, like, not Trump personally. Trump is personally doing what he can. He signed the executive order saying anti-fascist terrorists. He then signed an order saying all government go after these far left terror cells. We're seeing indictments, but it's coming from the ground up. Comey just got indicted. I think.
People
Let me put it this way. We talked about it last night.
So they picked them up this morning in Fairfield, Connecticut.
this guy.
Yeah, they picked him up this morning.
I put out a poll just now, and let me see if I have it here. I said, do you think we are in a civil war, civil strife, or neither? 27.9 said civil war, 60 said civil strife, and 11.8 said neither. It's normal.
FBI's lead agency, IRS Criminal Investigation Division, is the co-case, but it's an FBI-led case.
So let me ask you guys, with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, a week later, a liberal shot up an ABC station because of Charlie Kirk's suspension. Several terroristic threats were sent to several more ABC stations. Just this week, an ICE facility was targeted for the third time in 3 months.
He killed the alien, too. He didn't even get the ICE official.
He's just shooting at the vehicle.
Yeah.
What do you guys think happens next?
I think we have a major false flag coming from.
I agree. I
something so
completely
massive
agree.
that I think it either takes down the internet or because they have to do something where they take out the internet because we are breaking these things down so fast. So whatever they do has to create so much chaos and so much damage that it really brings us to our knees as a country.
Remember we were warned about the cyber 9/11, that this cyber attack would hit, and many people may not know this, but there was something that happened in like the early 2010s, I think it was called DNS cache poisoning. It was such a very serious flaw in DNS, I think it's domain name services, that it would have destroyed the entirety of the internet. And there was this dude. It's been a while. Dan Kaminsky. He was a friend, but it's just been so long. Not like a good friend of mine or anything. Dan Kaminsky, yeah, he died. He convened the great powers of the internet in secret, revealing this exploit that was called DNS cache poisoning. And he said, if this exploit gets out, the entirety of the internet can be shut down. And so all of these companies worked in secret to plug the gap and deal with the exploit. After it was fixed, they announced that this thing had happened. And it was like, this was an apocalyptic level. So much of our economy is based on the internet. I agree with you that, and I can tell you that I will put it like this. I have sources that have warned me of a potential for a very serious incident. I have explained last night.
Did it have to do with trauma centers?
No.
States that had single unit trauma centers?
No.
Okay, I heard another one.
So I'll put it like this. I did not go to Charlie Kirk's memorial because we had a security team assessment, and the threats that I've been receiving are credible. And the basic plan that was laid out as to how my wife and I would be able to go was nuts. And I described it as basically like 2 agents on the plane, 2 security guards on the plane sitting next to us, met by 2 more once the plane, so we have 4 people drive us, to the airport, 2 accompany us onto the plane.
Have you seen a spike in death threats since that happened to Charlie? Same here, bro.
Indescribable.
Dude,
and all I got to do is tell people, go on Blue Sky. I was talking to Benny Johnson about it, and I was like, what have you seen? He's like, go on Blue Sky.
Dude,
read them.
On TikTok, because I do the college debate stuff too. I was literally supposed to go to North Carolina the next day and do a debate on 9/11. And I obviously had to cancel. And a lot of the TikToks where I'm there, they're like, oh, we need to take this guy out next.
It's the same thing.
Absolutely
That's why
nuts.
when Keith Olbermann said, your next mother effer to Jennings, we know he was threatening death. And he immediately took it down and said, no, I meant career. BS. So the security assessment that we received, it was like 24/7 lockdown in the hotel with guards outside the front. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. We immediately following the assassination of Kirk, the general assessment was we need to wait to see where we end up in the next week or 2 so we can better assess the threat level. And right now, it could not be higher. It is maxed out. Law enforcement sources that we have are warning of a major incident they fear is likely.
And now,
This is internal security assessment for me and my team. And I can't go into great, I'm not going to go beyond that, but I'm just going to say this. The reason why I don't like to say this stuff is because people always say, Tim, you're black-pilled, you're pessimist, you're fanning the flames, it's rage bait. But in the context of this conversation, let me just say it. You don't even need me to tell you this. You don't even need Ryan's sources or the rumors he's hearing. Take a look at how the left celebrated the assassination of Kirk, a terror attack a week later, Our security assessment
Don't forget the Tesla bombings.
And that
in the beginning of the year on Elon destroyed the stock.
26 last night on IRL, 26 off the top of my head. We compiled a list of all the terror attacks that we've seen throughout this year, and they're escalating. And so,
did you count the T shootings?
The
We're on YouTube, so the T shootings, like the
the trans shooters.
yeah,
Yeah.
you counted those too.
Yeah. The right.
Like on a Catholic school, like
right. It's crazy. Children.
Yeah,
Law enforcement source warns they fear a major attack is almost guaranteed. I got to be careful to say this stuff. I am not. There's a reason why this is not being put out in news stories, because private behind the scenes, when they say like, hey, look, we genuinely believe the likelihood of this is one. It will happen. And we don't know where or how, and we're trying to stop this. The reason I'm told people believe this is, one, Charlie Kirk was just killed. Immediately following this, death threats rang out. The fear is that it is not a stopping point. It is a green light. And we saw this with another terror attack at ABC, more threats sent at ABC.
More school shootings.
More a school shooting the same day as Charlie Kirk, and then the attack on ICE. The general assessment, and I got to be honest, I don't even know if this is like a real, like we looked at the intel kind of stuff. I feel like any person reading the internet is going to be like, oh crap, this is getting crazy.
these two stories got buried with the Charlie Kirk assassination. I know there was something going on in Annapolis at the Naval Academy, if I'm not mistaken, and then a Colorado shooter.
Someone made threats online, and they thought the person was on the grounds. It resulted in an accidental shooting. There were bomb threats at various universities. Guys, what I said weeks
Do we know
ago,
the political affiliation of the shooter there, or the person that made the
there was
threat?
no shooter. It was a guard who shot somebody on accident.
Okay, accident discharge. The
person
what
who
about
made
the
the threat
Colorado
was
shooter, the high school shooter? Because there was a school shooting in Colorado.
I think he was far right.
He was far right.
Far right? Yeah, but what is like, the problem is, what does right describe? Like, if a Trump supporter on a MAGA hat and did this, that's what I want. If some fringe sovereign citizen guy with a weird ideology no one understands, right is a meaningless distinction. We've talked about it quite a bit in terms of what civil war looks like, and everybody lives in these movies. They live in movies where they're like, nobody could have made that shot. That was a professional shot. And it's like, please go to a range right now. The general assessment for rifle training is 1 to 2 hours of training to learn how to make a shot at 150 yards. Yeah. It's like, so, and people go.
And the kid like knew his way around firearms, right? So,
he grew up hunting.
Yeah,
and
like.
So everybody expects things to look like a movie. The exit wound would have been so massive. But then I read one report where it was like a combat, ballistics guy who like pulled a bunch of actual peer-reviewed journals breaking down injuries and how these things happen. Anyway, what you will see, the first thing I'll say is I asked Eric Prince on this show, do you think, based on all of your experience in foreign countries and with the people you've worked with, we are headed towards something like these collapse of these nations or civil war, revolution, whatever you want to call it? And he said, the one thing I'll say is it's overnight. One day, everything seems normal, and then you wake up and the water's off and there's no internet anymore. That's what he said, no internet. And so the way I described it, based on what I've experienced, and I've not been in war zones, but I've been in conflict, crisis, revolution, civil war, is everything outside of the conflict zones feels normal. And so the story I give is when I was in Egypt during the Second Revolution, there's a guy at McDonald's 3 blocks away from Tahrir Square.
Arab Spring, like 2010-ish?
Yeah. So this is 2013, the Second Revolution in Egypt. I was there.
Okay.
And there's thousands of people in Tahrir, APCs and Blackhawks coming in. They announce they're going to be, the bridges were being shut down. We decided to get out before it got too late. People were watching soccer matches at McDonald's eating cheeseburgers. We went to Heliopolis and kids were playing with race cars. I went to the fast food restaurant, got kebab. The world goes on. But what did it look like in that mall? While I was ordering kebab on a stick, it was lamb and it was delicious. The TVs are talking about the collapse of their government, the conflicts, the mass protest occupation by the Muslim Brotherhood in Nasser City. And then when we left and the government collapsed, the military went and started just shooting the Muslim Brotherhood, killing them and wiping them out.
That's an ally. We give them a lot of money.
Sure do.
A lot of money.
What we are seeing now in this country, which is terrifying me, is what you would expect to see as you enter a civil war period is you turn the news on, and this is how I described it months ago, and you're watching Brett Baer, and he goes, a bomb, IED, was detonated on U.S. Route 95 on State Road 95 in Texas, shutting down trade and transport from the eastern regions to the west. So, well, maybe not Brett Baer because he's not got someone, but the newscaster says, I guess, Mary, people aren't going to have that strawberry shortcake for this Christmas, so plan accordingly. In other news, a dog won a ribbon at a grooming contest. I wake up and I hear about the ICE shooting, and we don't have any details, and we don't know. You wake up and you find out that the FBI had 275 plainclothes agents. You wake up and you find out that James Comey is being indicted. These things are happening with increasing, they're exponential, it's accelerating rapidly, gradually, and then suddenly. And so I don't know what's going to happen. I don't want to say we are at civil war. People are saying it's a civil strife period. I think that is fair to say this is bleeding Kansas. Thanks for watching this clip from the Culture War podcast. We're live every Friday, 10 a.m. to noon. So subscribe and come hang out.